Hey everyone. Oh, it's snowing. That's unexpected. So yeah, I wanted to do a collective reading today for the collective. And so I've got this, the Guardian of the Night Tarot, tarot deck designed by MJ Cullinane. And yeah, wanted to see what jumps out at us. Those two first. There's many different ways to do tarot, and I like to not look at what I've got going until I've got kind of a group of them. But I said I lit a candle for this occasion, and I'm setting the intention to be helpful to whoever needs to be helped by this. Okay, so let's start with these three and see what we've got. So first we've got the Ten of Wands, then the Ace of Cups. It actually came in the following order. Ace of Cups, Queen of Cups, Ten of Wands. So the way that I read tarot typically with the normal tarot, like the Rider-Waite, whatever the typical tarot deck is called, I will read them kind of with their more typical meanings, but when we've got these ones that have nice designs on them, I'm going to read the nice designs. So on the Ace of Cups, we've got a cup that's overflowing with water and a bird drinking with water. And the first thing that I'm noticing is the 1 foot. Standing on 1 foot feels like you're about to jump into some new, a newly found activity or a newly found excitement or passion, and it's going to be fruitful because of the beautiful flower here that's already in the water. I don't know if that's a lotus. I don't actually know what that is, but there's a flower in the water, and a couple other things that come up is that this feels sort of like divinely guided because of the full moon here. So there's a sort of like mystery and mystery from your point of view, but like a things moving into place, kind of a magical quality of it. Of this is the destination, this is the path that you were meant to go down. The bird is blurry because it feels like there's a lot of motion associated with this, like things are happening quickly. You've made the decision, and that's going to be that. The things are moving forward quickly as a result of that. This butterfly here feels to me like sort of your family or like old partnerships that mean something. They're coming along with you, but they're not necessarily going on the same journey to the same degree. It's like they'll be there with you through the journey, through all of this magic. There's some feathers down underneath the cup that are fallen off the bird, and these are sort of indicative of shedding the past and shedding old things that you once believed. And in particular, the message that's coming through is to embrace that and understand that an inherent part of this journey for you, this new decision, this new leap, is that things are going to be different for you, and you're going to act and react differently, and to assume that's coming and to embrace that. So if something feels new, maybe it's not like the way you've always done things, or it's requires new skills, I'm getting the message almost like pretend that it's always been the new way. Like, don't worry about how you did it in the past. I heard a great quote yesterday from Tyler, the Creator, which is, he was saying that people on the internet always complain about something saying like, oh, you said this, you did it like that in the past. And he said, yeah, I said it. That's in the past. I can change my mind now. And that resonated with me and feels applicable in this situation. There's some clouds over here that I'm getting from that, showing like that there's some stuff that's hidden here. Like you're not supposed to know the whole path of where you're going. You're just supposed to keep your mind on what is specifically in front of you right now that's exciting. And someone's at my door, so I'll be right back. Okay, well that's been a bit of time. The camera's probably moved. The maintenance guys at my apartment were coming in to replace my my washing machine. So I believe I was about to go into the Queen of Cups, and I'm getting a feminine energy with this, well, Queen of Cups, but it also feels like this feels like a feminine energy that's associated with you in sort of like a guardian kind of energy. Someone who's looking out for you, feels like motherly. And yeah, I'm getting an image in my head, this orca, seeing like a little orca pup, I don't know what they're called, but a baby orca with the mama orca, and the mama orca feels protective over you. You're the baby. So yeah, it's bringing in this sort of feeling, take what you will from this whole reading, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I hesitate to say that like you are in need of any sort of guidance, or not guidance, but like protection, because really like you are your own protection in that sense. You're kind of the only one in your universe, as far as that matters. But for some of you, it might feel comforting to know that there is a feminine guardian energy around you. That doesn't really resonate with me necessarily, in that I don't think I need a guardian, but maybe it resonates with you, and that's totally fine. And we see the cup still, underwater in this one, and the image that I'm getting is that the cup from the Ace of Cups is overflowing, and it's like flooded the whole area. So this is going to be a very fruitful endeavor for you. You can see also that the moon has matured from this sort of full moon to a kind of blood moon eclipse type thing. So this is showing like the future evolution. It's just denoting to me like the progress that's made with this. And then the Ten of Wands is interesting to me. I forget exactly what the imagery is on the typical tarot, and I was tempted to want to interpret it that way, but I'm not going to. What I'm seeing here in the Ten of Wands is these salmon migrating up like a step ladder, like one of those migration ladders, so that when they put a dam in a stream or river that salmon migrate in, they will oftentimes build these little ladders so that the salmon can climb up. So that's what it feels like here, and this is sort of I don't know, I feel like this card goes actually in between these two in a timeline, because this one feels more like the fullness of the water, like the flooding that's there, feels like completion or much further along. This one feels like it's still part of the journey. So it feels separate, feels intermediate, but it also, I'm feeling that there's like a quick path drawn out for you to follow here with this water ladder, for lack of a better term. I feel that, there's like obstacles being overcome easily, that maybe, so what's coming up with this for me is in your mind, you might build all these obstacles that are like insurmountable, especially if you kind of think about things the way that you used to think about things, but you're being called to sort of break down those barriers of what you thought was previously possible, what you thought was possible previously. And it's actually a lot easier than you think it is. You just need to have an open mind and remain open with creativity to the ways that you could get through something. And so right now I'm being called to share with you one of the practices that I do, which is, I don't think I have it close, but I journal about these, whatever things I'm going through. And so the thing I was just shown in my mind is that to get through these barriers of like your preconceived notions, it'll be helpful. It might be helpful for some of you to actually write out these things. So trying to think of a concrete example from my life. I'll just start with like an assumption, like I can't afford this new thing that I want. Or like, let's say I want a new camera to record. I also am doing ASMR videos and art videos. And I'm filming all of this, including this video, on my iPhone. And it's kind of a pain to film on your iPhone. And I was looking at new cameras, and they're reasonably affordable, but something in me was saying, I had kind of a feeling of like, don't, you could buy a new camera, but don't. What resonated more with me was the idea of taking this iPhone as far as I possibly can. And who knows why that might be. Maybe I've thought this through. Like maybe it is that, I can learn to do more with this limited apparatus, this apparatus that has limitations. Maybe the camera that I'd buy now, that's like the obvious one to buy, is good, but maybe there's a newer camera coming out that has better features that I would like in the future. And so it just feels like now's not the right time to buy that camera. But so I journaled about it, and what I'm trying to say is that when I take the time to actually like write out what I'm feeling and be honest with myself about what's coming up, first of all, the answer is obvious, that I don't want to buy a new camera, even though I could and probably in some senses should. It doesn't necessarily make sense to keep recording on my camera, especially I've lost some footage because files get corrupted and there's space limitations on my iPhone. But it's what I'm trying to get at is like, don't use logic. Don't use your previous logic. Don't use the things that you know intellectually as a guidepost for where to go. You want to, you could try journaling if that makes sense, but do it energetically. So feel what feels right and resonates with you, and then follow those things rather than logic, because the logic in this case would be like the dam that the salmon can't get over. But there's a clear path that works for just you that doesn't use logic. Like you can't use logic to get there unless your logic is tied to what it feels like energetically for you. Easy to overcome obstacles if you remain open to all available paths, all available abundance. Remember that the universe gives you absolutely everything that you need, whether it comes in the form of money or some other abundance. It doesn't need to come in the form of money, and oftentimes we will kind of get stuck in our ways of thinking that money is the only way to accomplish something, but there's lots of other ways to accomplish the same thing. I want to make a video soon. I'm working on a script for one that talks more about this. In particular, I just lost my train of thought, but more on that coming. So I think that's all we've got today. Actually, I'm being shown to draw another card, and I want to come to the fairy deck. There's one last bonus draw. Fairies, Oracle Guide, Oracle Deck and Guidebook. This is by... I'm not sure who. Somebody. Eugene Fletcher. It's by Eugene Fletcher. And This is a fun deck because it's kind of like mischievous spirits and things like that. Actually, recently just learned that fairies are elementals. I thought that they were like entities of some sort, like physical entities, like a Sasquatch or something. But as far as I understand, Sasquatch is not an elemental, but fairies are an elemental. Which means, to me, my understanding is that they are, I don't know why I picked those cards back up to shuffle them, but that's what we're going with. It doesn't make sense, but that's what we're going with. Lost my train of thought again. That's fine. We're going to keep going. Yeah, so this message is for someone. It might not be for everyone, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. You don't have to worry about if this doesn't apply to you, but everything prior applied, that's totally fine. If nothing prior applied, but this one applies to you, then that's totally fine. If everything applies to you, then that's totally fine. You just feel what feels right, and this is the card. Dawn to Dusk. So, interesting. Some interesting imagery here. I can definitely read the guidebook because I'm not too familiar, but one of the things that comes up for me with this is bees. There's no bee imagery, but I just have a feeling of bees, and in particular, like a busy bee working from dawn till dusk. Actually, so this feels like a two-layered reading. For some of you, it's a caution to work less. You're focusing on sort of pushing through things and brute forcing your way through things, and that's your first indication that you're kind of not following your excitement. You're not going in the path of least resistance. You're not following your excitement. You're kind of forcing your way through things with kind of an old world mindset of how things used to operate, which is totally understandable, but that's not where we are at the moment. You're being called to sort of relax about that. And then for the others of you, it's the opposite. It's like work on your excitement from dawn till dusk. I guess these are kind of, in the end, it's kind of the same message for everybody. Like if you're doing this already, do more of it. And, just keep going. Pour gasoline onto that fire of passion. And if you find yourself stuck going through like old habits and routines and just trying to force things to work, then take a step back and I'm being shown to come back to this Ten of Wands interpretation, which is basically like find the path that actually works for you. So one of the things that's really cool and interesting about the way that our universe works is that because it's multidimensional and there's an infinite number of different paths available to you, through different universes, there, like mathematically, there exists a path that works for just you to get from where you are to where you're going that might not or does not work for anybody else. So if that means that you are going to offer to give something for free or for low cost in exchange for something else that you want, that might be the perfect path for you. You don't need to use money to go on a trip to do photography. You could offer to photograph in exchange for the trip. So one of the I had college roommates when I was in grad school that they traveled the world. They sold their house and traveled the world with no job. But what they wanted to do, or what they did offer to do, is, since they were models, they offered companies, hey, we're going to be traveling to all these areas. If you want to send us clothes, we can do some modeling in those areas, and we can get paid that way if you'd like. And so they were offering to, they were already in the place that looked nice. If you just send us the clothes, we'll model for you, and that'll be, a good job for us. So that kind of thing. You know, you can use your creativity. You should use your creativity to get to where you want to go, whatever your goal is. Theirs would be travel in this example. Yeah, that's basically it. I think I've given enough that you can get it, and yeah. So that's it. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.